Georgina Dowey was besotted with her killer Mathew Pickering, who she had known since school and said was the love of her life. He killed her in a jealous rage at his South Wales home. An ex-anaesthetic theatre practitioner who brutally murdered his vulnerable partner and left her body on the toilet floor with a black plastic bag over her face has been jailed for life. Mathew Pickering beat partner Georgina Dowey before strangling her to death at his South Wales home in May last year. The 49-year-old then spent the next few hours covering up his crime, sending texts to cover his tracks and purchasing bleach to clean his home. The former hospital theatre worker had previously admitted manslaughter but was found guilty of murder following a 2-week trial and was sentenced to a minimum of 17.5 years by Judge Paul Thomas KC at Swansea Crown Court. The court heard Miss Dowey was strangled and her body was left in the downstairs toilet of the home in Neath Port Talbot with a black bin bag covering her head. During cross-examination, the defendant told the court when he saw Miss Dowey heading for the rear utility room and toilet, he thought she was going to pick up an empty bottle. He says she then picked up a small piece of wood and began swinging it at him with her left hand. Pickering said he grabbed the empty left arm of Miss Dowey's dressing gown, which was draped over the left shoulder like a scarf, and pulled it with both hands as hard as he could. He says in the following scuffle, his body rotated around Miss Dowey and he ended up behind her still holding onto the free sleeve, but now with his hands either side of her neck. Asked whether he was pulling on the sleeve around Miss Dowey's neck as hard as he could, Pickering said yes, and that it was about 10 seconds plus before she went limp. Miss Dowey, 47, who had described Pickering as the love of her life, had a long history of alcohol abuse, moved in with Pickering in March, having previously lived in a women's refuge in Barry. The pair had known each other since school, and the judge said Miss Dowey was besotted with Pickering. Judge Thomas said it was his view that Pickering had killed Miss Dowey in jealous rage, having discovered messages on her phone from another man. He said what's been both striking and chilling about this case was that in the first 36 hours after you killed her, you just went about calmly covering your tracks with not a hint of anything untoward. Not even when you went to your parents the following day. There was not the merest flicker of anything resembling emotion or sympathy or regret demonstrated by you. All you have demonstrated throughout this process is cold, callous self-interest. Speaking after the sentencing, Detective Inspector David Butt said, "This sentence represents justice being served for Georgina's murder at the hands of her own partner. The actions Mathew Pickering took in his attempt to get away with murder were partially caught on CCTV. Georgina was last seen alive on Friday, May 5th. The murder took place either later that evening or during the early hours of the following morning. He spent approximately 40 hours covering his tracks while Georgina's body lay on the floor of his downstairs toilet. On Saturday, May 6th, he sent the following text to Georgina's phone. Did you make it to Merthyr okay? Kiss." He sent this text in full knowledge that her body was at his home. At 16:31 that afternoon, he went to the corner shop on his street to buy bleach. He would later claim that he purchased this bleach as his cat was playing in the blood on the living room floor, so he had to wipe it up. He also got rid of key evidence by placing items in bins in the local area, including items that were found in a dog waste bin. Georgina had 2 mobile phones, neither of which have been found, and it is believed that Mathew Pickering disposed of them. He made disclosures to his family members about what he had done the following day. "My thoughts remain with Georgina's family, who are understandably devastated by what has happened. I would like to thank the local community and witnesses for the support they have provided to this investigation.